Hello, we're going on to part 4 of Blessed are the Meek. Now, when Jesus had finished washing the disciples' feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I've done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly, I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." We come to situations in our life where life is just not worth living without Jesus. Nothing seems to be going right. We go through the dark places where people misunderstand us. It seems as if we can do nothing right. Everything we do is misconstrued. Life is not worth living. Let me tell you a little story here. There was a young Chinese girl, a university student, who was visiting all the places on the campus before taking herself off down to the railway line, where she was planning to take her own life by jumping in front of a train. Her life was a mess. She was in the pit of despair when she found herself outside the English Bubble Club room. At the very top of the university building, she saw a small poster on the closed door which announced "Change Your Life in 7 weeks," a series of life skills classes run by myself and other Western teachers. She came, and at the end of the 7 sessions, she told me that the series had changed her life. But what was she to do now? "You need to study about Jesus," said an unbelieving young man, whom I might add is now a Christian and a successful PhD graduate. That's another story. I was able to put her in touch with someone who could explain JC to her, and she eventually became a Christian and gave her life completely to JC. Now she lives to serve others. You might ask why I didn't do that delicate task, and because I didn't do it because it was going against the agreement I had signed. But I'd got alongside her and helped her by pointing out the way. Her life was in a mess. Jesus says we must become the servant. Service and humility go hand in hand, and in a humble heart there is a willingness to serve. Calvin said, "There is not love where there is not a willing slavery in assisting a neighbour." Humility and service go hand in hand. They are both consistent with love. If we're not humble or meek, then we cannot serve, and God uses us in so many ways if only we allow him to, in humility. Let's go back to the upper room. Jesus washed the feet of Judas, as well as those of the rest of the 12. He was giving Judas a last chance to confess what he had done wrong. But Judas's pride stopped him from confessing. Jesus allows us to choose our destiny. We can choose Jesus or we can choose the world. And at the end of the day, it is our choice. I think it was Joshua who said, "Choose you this day who you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Judas provides for us a solemn warning. We can walk the walk and talk the talk and sit alongside Jesus, but if our hearts are not with him, we can remain unbelievers. It is possible to be involved in church, look like a Christian, talk like a Christian, but not be a Christian. All the disciples thought that Judas was one of them because he walked the walk and talked the talk, but his heart was full of pride and ambition. Love for one another has its expression in serving the other person and taking the humblest part. If Jesus was willing to lower himself to the position of a servant and wash the disciples' feet, we need to do the same.